morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glory. My name is Eddie Law. And of course, you guys know I do these when there's plenty to talk about. My Jesus, there's plenty of shit to talk about today. Of course, if you've... a lot of people waking up right now on the East Coast and other spots, just finding out right just now that Jon Jones is out of UFC 200. A flag for a possible USADA violation, PED or whatever. But what I found out last night, obviously in the West Coast, times is a little different. You get news pretty quickly, but it's pretty insane overall. It's one of those things where it's like you didn't expect it. Unbelievably, everybody made it to fight week. Look, if Cain Velasquez can make it to fight week uninjured, you're just like, oh, everything's good, right? Then come to find out, USADA popped Jon Jones. According to Jeff Nowitzki of the UFC's, he's the guy that directs all the drug test stuff for them. It was a test that was done on June 16th, and then Dana White said that they put those tests through as many tests as possible to make sure that they're sure. So, excuse me. So, basically Dana White made the point that USADA's sure. They know he tested positive for some shit, and now Jon Jones has the option of going and testing that B sample to see if maybe if that's the way he wants to go, he can. If that shit tests positive too, though, please believe that 2-year ban's coming. All right, the suspension. It's holy shit. You know what I mean? For that shit to happen 72 hours before the fight goes down, it's a mind fuck for a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not surprised it happened. I'm surprised that it took this long to come out. And I'll tell you why I'm not surprised that it happened. I've never been convinced that Jon Jones has ever changed for the better, ever. Because when you claim sobriety, you claim that you changed a lot of things, but you haven't changed anybody around you. It's all the same shit people you had when you were living a shitty lifestyle. Very hard to change anything. So it's I was never really convinced that he changed a goddamn thing. So it's unfortunate, but Jon Jones did it to himself. So again, if you haven't heard, or you're just waking up now to see the news, Jon Jones is out of UFC 200, as is Daniel Cormier for now. They are looking for a replacement fighter for Daniel Cormier, someone that so he can get in there with. According to Cormier and a lot of the people, it would have to be someone that makes sense. So there's a lot of guys that will just step in and fight. Apparently, Joe Stubbs already been getting texts and calls and shit. So I'd be a little surprised if they don't at least attempt to make another fight, right? So as of now, and probably until Saturday, Brock Lesnar and Mark Hunt are headlining UFC 200. Kind of fitting since Brock headlined 100, and Daniel Cormier is waiting for an opponent. I'm assuming that would be a co-main event if that were to actually happen. And it's unfortunate all around. Starting with Daniel Cormier, he doesn't get a fight. He put in a fight camp, right? He was ready. He came in ready to go. He's on point with the weight. He had worked in a lot of things. He was ready to get that win back against Jon Jones. And then also, it hurts him financially. Definitely financially. Dana White said it yesterday in that last second press conference that if the fighters that don't get paid a lot, if their fights fall apart, those guys usually get compensated, right? They help them out. But apparently Daniel Cormier makes a lot of money. So they don't know what they're going to do with him as far as that goes if there is no fight. Now, it's, because Daniel Cormier gets pay-per-view points, it's all that shit. He makes a lot of money. So it definitely hurts him financially. What fighters spend, especially fighters of the caliber of Daniel Cormier spend during a fight camp can reach ridiculous numbers. So he needs that money, And, so in that point, it hurts Daniel Cormier a lot. It hurts the UFC because, they had the card is still insane. But losing this fight definitely put the sting on that. It definitely put the sting on this one. It definitely hurts it a little bit. It'll probably hurt pay-per-view buys a bit. Not too much, I don't think, because you still have a crazy card. But it definitely hurts it. So it's unfortunate, and it sucks, and it's honestly Jon Jones' fault. And it hurts Jon Jones, but Jon Jones did it to himself. You can't. As the first time around, he got in trouble with when he tested positive for anything with cocaine, right? recreational. Yeah, they weren't supposed to have tested for in the first place. Here's why I don't look. If it's true that Jon Jones is sober and is a sobriety thing, then this wasn't a recreational drug. This was a PED. You know what I mean? Again, we have to. Jon Jones is supposed to speak this morning, or he's going to put out a statement this morning, and put out his side of the story to find out what the fuck's going on. But look, it's a PED, man. If it's a PED, 2 years, man, 2 years. Keep in mind, they give Nick Diaz 5 years for weed, but that was because Pat Lumbaugh is an angry, cunty little old lady. But Jon Jones is gonna get some time, man. 28 years old, 2 years takes him out of his prime. He'll be 30. Now, people can say whatever the fuck they want about, oh, well, he wouldn't have fought for 2 years. He'll be fresh. He'll be good, especially if he keeps training. You're still 30. You still train all that. You're still 30. All right. I turned 30 years old this year. All right. And my body is not even close to what it used to be. It does not recover as well as it used to be, or as it used to. I used to be able to recover the days after, and I'm still recovering from a workout from fucking Tuesday. You know what I mean? So it's 30 years old is going to be weird for him, and it takes him out of his prime. He'll be pretty much effectively out of his prime as far as that goes. If he ever fights again. 2 years of inactivity, you got to find something to do during those 2 years. You're suspended by USADA, you can't do TV, not with the UFC. Frank Mir's shown that. Chael Sonnen's shown that. It's going to be a weird time for Jon Jones. And the thing to me that bothers me the most is that he's still full of shit. Like completely full of shit. I thought for sure he's like, okay, he embraced the fact that he's a douchebag and just went with it, right? Because that's what I respected about Jon Jones, because he was like, okay, before he'd be like, I'm a nice little Christian boy, and I'm in there to fight, and sportsmanship, and that was before. He gets busted, he breaks a pregnant lady's arm with his car, fucking jumps walls and shit, goes away, busted for coke and all that shit. And then now he comes back and he's like, yeah, DC's a pussy. I can respect the person that's being honest. I can respect that shit. This is not honest, okay? Especially if you knew. Now, think of it. Something to think about that I just thought about this morning. Remember when he had those? I remember one of his tests came out and was out there. One of his PED tests and shit. And I think it wasn't PED test. It was the test where he tested positive for cocaine, I think. His T to E ratios, his testosterone to estrogen ratios were low as shit. Okay, so if he was using PEDs, it's very feasible that he was using performance enhancing drugs, and excuse me, coffee making me burp. It's not working because I'm yawning. Apologies for that. Anyway, that's one thing to think about there. The other thing is that this was an out-of-competition test. So, while USADA tests are mostly random, about all random, it was out of competition, which means maybe he thought he was going to get away with it. Maybe he was in the old school way of juicing. And they call it old school. It's very hard to juice these days with USADA cleaning up the sport the way they are. You got to give them props, man. And the funny thing is, guys like Lance Armstrong and all of them are, saying Jeff Nowitzki just wants to be in the spotlight. Okay, I get that, and that might be true, but you still did some shit, and you still got caught, and you still need to pay the consequences. You still need to get, called out for it. So, there's that as far as calling out Jeff Nowitzki. Dude's doing a good job. You know what I mean? And look, we're gonna. I think it was Daniel Cormier said we're gonna have casualties because of this shit. We're gonna have casualties because of USADA. So, there is a video. There are two videos out there. One of them's kind of a mini presser with Dana White and Jeff Nowitzki, and then right after Nowitzki walked off, Daniel Cormier came out and made some comments. I tweeted those out last night. I'll try to tweet them out in a little bit here, if hopefully I remember. It's a trip, man. The crazy thing is that news broke in the middle of our UFC. Not even the middle. In the tail end of our UFC 200 pre-fight show, the breakdown show that we do. Myself, Dave Rodriguez from ESPN Radio. He's actually out of Albuquerque, so he's gonna be working his connections, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on with Jon Jones. And Jesse was on, Nick Pilecki was on, and one guy we just met yesterday, actually Brandon. This guy Brandon, cool dude. He's got this like really chill, laid back California style attitude, and seemed like he was high as fuck. Not last night, but like one of those videos that I watched before. Anyway, which I don't hate that at all. Do your thing, bruh. But I got supported. But anyway, this whole thing's crazy, right? So it broke during the show, and I freaked the fuck out. I was like, holy fuck, like what? And I'm like, Brock Lesnar Mark has a new main event for UFC 200. Someone got hurt. Something happened. I immediately thought Daniel Cormier weight cut. Right? That's what I thought. My first thought was Daniel Cormier fucked up his weight cut and he passed out or something. Nope. Jon Jones has positive gets flagged for a possible USADA violation. Now, what Judge Vicky said is that there's not enough time between now and the bout, which is Saturday, to do a proper investigation and find out if it was on purpose, it was inadvertent, whatever. If it was a tainted supplement, whatever the case might be, or may have been. So they have to pull him from the fight. And, it sucks. It really fucking sucks. And it does put it puts a dent in the card, I'm not gonna lie. But you still have Brock Lesnar and Mark Hunt in the main event. You still have Frankie Edgar, Jose Aldo as a co-main, Miesha Tate, Amanda Nunes, Cain Velasquez, Travis Brown, the freaking prelims, Kat Zingano, Juliana Pena, Takanori Gomi and Jim Miller, the first fight of the night. Diego Sanchez, Joe Lozon in the Fight Pass prelims. I mean, the card is stacked. Gegard Mousasi, Thiago Santos. It's a crazy stacked card still. But losing that we were spoiled. Dude. Losing that DC Jon Jones fight is it hurts a little bit. So whether that's gonna hurt pay-per-view buys, yes, it will. And honestly, a lot of people on Twitter that I saw that had tickets to the actual fight that are actually in Vegas, they were throwing out around the idea of getting refunds. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That card's still going to be historic. It's not going to be, Jon Jones DC is the main event, but it's still a crazy fucking card. Why the hell would you want to, get a refund and not go to the fight? So, it's weird. I'd still go to the fight. If I had tickets, I would still go to the fight. No doubt about it. So now, again, oh shit, before I jump off of here, well, I got like 10 minutes actually, but, Jon Jones flagged for a possible USADA violation out of UFC 200. They're looking for a replacement fighter to take on Daniel Cormier on 2 days' notice, which is doable. And apparently, a lot of guys were texting Dana White and Joe Silva looking for that fight. Gegard Mousasi was looking for it. I think not Roy Nelson. Who else was going after? Everybody was going after. Michael Bisping was like, "I'll be a two division champ. Fuck it." What else? It's a lot of guys looking for this fight, trying to take this fight, and it's nice to see, but it's got to make sense, and it probably won't be for the title. Daniel Cormier himself said he'll take on a heavyweight, but it can't be a really big guy because then DC, he shrunk his body to make 205, and he does it every time. So looking for a heavyweight around 220 pounds. And the funny thing is, my first thought was Cain, but that's not gonna happen. They're teammates, so it's again unfortunate situation. One that the UFC's got to deal with, and we're gonna have to just put up with as fans. But Jon Jones, man, if it's true, he's gonna come out there to make a statement. He could say, "Oh, it was a tainted supplement." I don't buy it, but regardless, it's kind of hard to believe him. Anything he says, it was hard to believe him before. Now it's kind of impossible, So this could be Jon Jones showing his true colors. It could be what the fuck is wrong with you? It could be a lot of things. So. It's like I said, it's unfortunate, but we just got to deal with it now. So anyway, so you guys all have a wonderful day, wonderful night, depending where you're at. Doesn't really matter, but I don't know. Keep up on Twitter. News will spread fast. So I'll catch you guys on there. Again, thanks for watching UFC 200 pre-fight show last night. Appreciate everyone that was on there. Mike, Andy, Fang was on there for a while. Thug Life MMA, well, I thoroughly enjoyed his comments. It was great. Appreciate all of them. And all the guys, Nick, Jesse, Brandon, Dave, that came on the show. So a lot of fun times with these guys. And I'll be retweeting that show. And pretty much we have three pre-fight shows that still work. So, yeah. I'll be retweeting those all day. And if you could, just subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it. share the videos. I would really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day, wonderful night, wonderful evening, and I'll catch you guys later.